All right. Welcome back to the Sports Business Life podcast. This is your host and co-host, Michael. On the other side, we got Diego. Um, I hope
Guys,
you all been enjoying the beautiful weather that we're having. What do you think, eh?
it's
Finally,
awesome.
finally
If
get
it,
some
if
rain
it
for
goes
us.
like this for the rest of until like October, I'm set.
I
There's
know,
no
right?
humidity. It's hot outside, but no humidity, so there's no stickiness. It's beautiful. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. When I was in shorts today, I'm like, yo, this is nice.
I was outside in shorts too. It was so good. So good.
All right, man. But yeah, other than this, how's the family? Everything's good.
Everything's good. Yeah, we had a good Easter long weekend. Just kind of spent going to see people. It was my son's birthday too, so we had a big thing. Yeah. What about you? How was your
Yeah, man.
Passover?
Well, yeah, we don't. Yeah, like I said, we don't celebrate Easter. I told you, but yeah, we celebrate the Passover. And pretty much, you don't eat leavened bread from for 7 days. We started from April 5th all the way to April 11th, which was yesterday. It was good. It was a good time. I enjoyed the fellowship with my church people. It was a good time, man. You know,
Good, good.
yeah, man. So, what do we have here? We have the play-in tournament. So recently, if I'm not mistaken, so we had the Hawks beat the Heat in a
Yeah,
kind of
yesterday's game.
convincing victory there.
A
And
shocking victory too.
yeah,
Well, I was shocked. I assumed if the Raptors decided to play well today, that or for Wednesday's matchup against the Bulls, that we were going to go to Atlanta, but they're going to Miami if they do win.
but
So
you told me
I was,
that the Heat weren't looking like, and I mean, from what
they
it's,
did it, but like, how can you like Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry, like that seems like a pretty solid enough team
well,
to make the playoffs.
it makes you really think, like, like, was it just a fluke for them? Was it just, remember when the Hawks had their 61 win season with Kyle Korver, Joe Johnson, Josh Smith? Like, they had like four All-Stars made it that year, but they had a good year until they met up with
Yeah,
LeBron.
Damari Carroll. I
Yeah,
remember Damari Carroll with the Raptors. Oh, he was a hoot.
yeah. But I remember
He
until they
was,
met up with LeBron, LeBron swept them, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
yep,
Yeah, so,
yep. But now, like in fairness, I'm sure that they were going to lose, but they had a lot of injuries in the playoffs. Damari Carroll was on one leg. I
the
think Kyle
Hawks,
Korver got injured. The Hawks, yeah,
really?
that year the playoffs came around, and once they started facing my Cleveland, they were a lot of injuries. They were going to lose no matter what
I
because
see.
LeBron in his
Yeah,
prime.
I know. That's what I was saying too. But
Yeah,
yeah, but like it seems like some players or some teams might have just had a couple of good years, like Miami Heat. They had a good year, went to the finals against Lakers and lost in six, and it went 7 games with the Bucks. Or was it no? Sorry, Celtics in
last
the
year.
last year conference finals. But maybe we should give them a chance to redeem themselves. No, you think it's over?
The problem with them is they last year they were a good team. Lowry had a down year. There's some injuries, but also they lost a bunch of guys. So like Duncan Robinson, who they signed a big contract to, has been a shell of himself since that bubble year, where he actually played really well, shot great 3 point. Like he's dived where he's not even playing. And at some point they were starting Kevin Love, who they signed on a buyout market from Cleveland, which like that's shocking. Lowry actually the game against Atlanta for the play-in that they lost, Lowry was their best player. He dropped 33 points. Like he was playing really well. And they still like Jimmy Butler just didn't look great. Like I'm sure like whatever the second matchup is going to be, I'm sure Jimmy's going to show up because it's Jimmy Butler. I got a lot of, like I'm a big fan of Jimmy Butler, but this year they've kind of been shells of themselves from last year. They lost PJ Tucker, which was huge, huge. And the last season they had the breakout star with Struess. He shot a good high percentage. He wasn't a liability defensively like Duncan Robinson was. He essentially filled the role that Robinson left. This year, his all of his stats are down. All of his numbers are down. So, like Lowry's had a bad year this year until you know the game against Atlanta. But I definitely, Yeah, it's weird. They're gonna have to do something. I think they're a little bit in trouble because, like, what are they gonna do with the Robinson contract? That's what I think
Right.
he signed 4 years, 70 or 90 mil. It's a big chunk for a guy who's not playing that can't play because like if you're not hitting threes, he's a massive liability defensively.
Mm,
So like in the playoffs, in the finals with the Lakers, they just went at him steady,
right.
right?
Okay.
So I think I don't know if they're going to really be a big competition against Boston. Boston is really deep. They got a lot more players. I just, yeah, I don't know. What do you think? You think it's going to go 7, 6, 5 sweep?
I'll give him a five or if the Hawks play well, six. But
Oh no, Miami, Miami.
for what? What are you talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, they,
Yeah,
they lost. My mistake.
yeah.
Sorry, we're talking about
Hawks.
Miami now.
It's Hawks and
My mistake.
Celtics you're
Yeah,
talking about, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So if the Hawks play well, six. But if it's just if they're mediocre, 5 games. Uh, what?
Do you think like because Atlanta made the East Finals? I think it
Two
was
years
two
ago.
years ago,
Yeah,
and they beat Philly in the second round.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and since then they've been extremely underwhelming. They made the playoffs last year through the play-in. They did it again this year. Well, like they made a big trade. They got Murray from the Spurs. Good pickup. It seems like something's off with their team. They shouldn't be this bad. It's almost like the Raptors. They shouldn't be this bad, but why are they? Do you know, like a lot of people are saying Trey Young and his leadership and how he plays the game is
Yes,
messed up.
I would.
But he was playing like that and they made it to the East Finals. So
Nah, but
like
like, come on. Nah. I mean, like when you're going up against a team and there are other stars putting up zeros, I don't know how much you could do with
okay,
that.
talk about Ben Simmons, Mike.
We always. I mean, he's gonna have to be. He's only relevant because he allowed the Hawks team, like he literally allowed the Hawks team to go to the conference finals. Like, and because of him, they're like a somewhat relevant because of Ben Simmons. If Ben
You're saying it was a
Simmons,
fluke. It was
if
more Philly lost than Atlanta won.
yeah, exactly. And with Trey Young, I I'm starting to believe now it is how he plays, and it's that extra like I said, and he can catch it. He's a. I'm pretty sure he can be a decent catch and shoot player, but at the same time, like
Seen
exactly at the same time though, he's developed himself into a certain type of caliber player,
Mhm.
which I think is limiting him a lot because if he's able to play off the ball, I think it opens up his game. But
100%. I was just about to say that, Mike. 100%. And they have a second point guard that could run the point.
right,
I don't know why.
but you see, like this is where some players are just like Steph. He runs the point, but he knows how to play the off guard too. And like I don't know if you notice, like a lot of times Clay and Steph get a lot of their open shots because they both set picks to each other. Do you notice that?
They're non-stop moving.
Yeah,
And that's the big thing, man. Like exactly what you were saying, I agree with 100%. Curry, oh, Clay's different. He's 6'7". He's a guard, like he's a big guard. He'll never run the point. But like when you see Trey Young, he doesn't really know what to do when he doesn't have the ball. Like everyone was saying he's 2.0 Steph Curry.
hmm.
No, no, because Curry does so much off the ball while playing point guard. Like again, he has Draymond, who's a point forward, point center. So, but him playing off the ball and just setting screens for other players, he gets so many other guys wide open shots because
Yes,
of him. Trey Young does not do that. Like again, he's a good assist guy. Like lobs, he throws lobs for Collins and Capella. Like he's a good passer, but the willingness this year to be off the ball essentially ruined their season. I agree. I would be surprised if they win a game off of Atlanta, of Boston, because Boston just is on a like just on a significant higher tier than Atlanta right now, especially how Atlanta plays. But I yeah, I completely agree. He's not Steph Curry. He once he learns that, then yeah, he could take a
yeah,
next level
because
up.
because when we go into the playoffs now, it's like all I gotta do is put one guy on you and just okay, take him out of the offense. I mean, who like I don't know who else really has. Like who's their other guy? That
Murray, and then they got Collins. Everybody else are
no, but
supporting cast.
but those are not like they're okay. You know what?
Like
Whatever.
Collins is going to drop 40. You're right.
Huh?
Collins is the next guy other than Murray. He's not going to drop 40
Right.
points.
That's what.
It's not
Yeah.
that's not feasible for
So
him.
it's just like, well, I mean, that's the thing. All I gotta do is just take you out because Collins gets his like he uses the pick and roll lobs. That's what he gets his points. At least a
Yeah.
good amount of his points he gets,
Yeah,
or
he's
some.
kind of a stretch four as well. Like he could shoot
Right.
the three. He's got a mid range, but he's super athletic.
Right.
And yeah, it's lobs galore with Capella and Collins.
Yeah, but I mean, like lobs are not gonna. I mean, I think we know who the Hawks are. Just stop Trey Young, or they just control their guard play, and they're gonna be
It's an
taking.
L, 100%.
Yeah.
And what's great about it, well, I mean, not great for Atlanta. Boston has the guys to play proper defense
Yeah,
with you.
Marcus Smart.
Like not okay. Like take Marcus Smart off of the equation. You got Brogdon as a backup point guard. You got Brown who could play a guard position and play great defense on Young or Murray. Tatum also has the capabilities and the height to disrupt a lot of the things that Trae Young does. Like they're like that's a perfect matchup for them. If Miami would have beaten Atlanta, which where I was going to, I totally forgot that it wasn't. Miami is kind of like it's a coin flip. Like they could show up one series, and you never know. Like Jimmy Butler could just be out of this world, and you can't really stop him at that point, right?
Yeah.
But with Atlanta, they have a lot of flaws, especially with Trae Young, and he's just such a big liability defensively too. So
And Miami,
yeah,
looking at their roster, man, like Lowry, Oladipo, Kevin Love, Bam, Jimmy.
well,
Like,
Oladipo's not the same player. Like all
yeah,
the
yeah, I
injuries,
know, but
you would
like,
expect more from them.
yeah, exactly.
Like I thought for sure when Brooklyn
Duncan Robinson.
traded everybody away, Katie and Kyrie, that they were going to slip into the play-in. Miami had a chance to catch them. They got blown out against Brooklyn.
Tyler
I
Hero.
believe, I'm not sure if it was in Brooklyn or Miami, but that was like, what? They lost? This is important. You don't have to play the play-in. Like that's pretty shocking to me. Like they're on the verge of not making the playoffs. I didn't expect that at the start of the year.
Yeah, and I think Raptors can definitely take them out. I think they can take them out.
Well,
But yeah, what I
you
was gonna say,
want to Raptors now?
not yet, but I want to say is that, like, speaking of Trey Young, right? When you think about Trey Young, I think about Steph, and I'm gonna bring him up again. I don't mean to, but Westbrook, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
like Steph Curry, um, and even like let's just say I like to use like a nice similar comparison. So let's say Westbrook and Dwayne Wade, Trey Young and Steph Curry. Okay, you notice like Westbrook played with Durant. Trey Young has not really had that chance to play with like an All Star like that. I get that, but like just the way how his habits look, he has a lot of poor habits, especially on defense, especially off the ball, like not really doing much or creating for his team. But Wade, remember when he played with LeBron? You know how much off the ball like cuts and layups and duck-ins he got? Like he just knew how to like fit himself into the offense or fit himself into the flow with LeBron James. You know what I mean? Like that's why they
100%.
were able to complement each other, and that's the thing. Trey Young doesn't. Yeah, even if he does get an All Star, will he complement them the same way? Who knows? We'll see. We have to give him a chance to maybe,
Well,
you know.
Murray was an All-Star last year.
Yeah, no, but like I'm talking about like
Yeah, like a higher tier but
yeah,
like I thought they were gonna do like the what the Warriors were doing with Curry. Even like they'd make Jordan Poole bring the ball up or DiVincenzo bring the ball up, and Curry's just doing his sprints
right.
around, messing up the defense. Trae Young doesn't do that, which I'm surprised he doesn't. I'm surprised he's shorter than Curry. Like he should be faster than Curry. He definitely has the capabilities of doing it, but again, like you were saying, it's up there for sure. But you're also putting, I mean, is Trey a pass first point guard? Like he has good assist numbers, so I don't want to. I'm not trying to be like disrespectful to him, but you don't really consider him a pass first point guard? He's a scoring on ball point guard.
Yeah.
Murray is definitely not a pass first point guard. He's a scoring point guard. He's an athletic slashing point guard, right? So like them together, it wouldn't work unless Trey takes that Curry route. And if he's like Westbrook sitting in the corner, yeah, he'll hit his threes when he's wide open, but who's going to leave him wide open steady? They'd rather let Murray drop 40, 50 points to try to beat them. So like there's a lot of flaws with Atlanta.
Yeah, and yeah, we can head over to Raptors now. So they got the Bulls, and if I'm not mistaken, that's the one led by the. Oh,
Yep.
oh, this is an interesting one. DeRozan and what's his name? Carlos. What's his name, man?
Zach LaVine,
Alex Caruso. Caruso. Sorry, and yeah, the Zach Levine. I said Carlos. My bad. Alex Caruso.
Carlos Boozer. He played for the Bulls, I think, at one point.
Don't do me like that.
No, it's going to be interesting
They're
today.
gonna. They have a pretty gritty team, eh? Like Pat Bev is on there.
They do. Um, Raptors on paper should beat them, but the Raptors on paper should be a top 6 in the Eastern Conference this year, and they're not. So for me, I honestly don't know. I truly can see them getting blown out in their matchup against
By
the
the
Bulls.
Bulls.
If they get by the Bulls, they have to beat Miami in Miami. I don't know. It depends what Raptor team shows up. It really depends.
And
This
that's
year's
what I
been
and that's what I
extremely
don't like.
difficult to watch as a fan.
Yo, tell me about it.
Yeah,
And that's why I don't like as a especially if I'm rooting for a team. I don't like I like consistency,
and they have not been
not
that.
been consistent.
They've been the opposite, the most inconsistent team, other than the Mavericks.
Oh
Honestly,
my gosh. Well, I don't know. They just
if you want any more stuff you want to add with the Raptors,
not really. Not
we'll
really.
come back with the other stuff with Fred. You want to go to the West?
Let's
West
go to the
playing.
West, man.
So the Lakers advanced overtime win against Minnesota
LeBron put up 30
after.
points.
Yeah, it was an entertaining game to say the least. Minnesota looked really good a lot of the game. Just it seems like Minnesota loses a lot of games when they're playing really well in the playoffs. So they did that quite a bit last year with Memphis. They're still young. Still, I mean, we can't really call them young. They got Tim Conley now, who's an old guy. So I don't know. I really don't know what Minnesota's doing, but they are going to face the winner of the OKC New Orleans Pelicans.
Zion is out, right?
Zion is out.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, Matt, can OKC beat New Orleans? I don't know. They got a
Well, they're
lot
not. They're
of
not because like what they got McCollum, Ingram,
Jonas Valanciunas,
is
Larry Nance Jr.
yeah. So yeah.
I believe his name, Murphy the Third. Like they have a solid team, man. Zion put them over the top for sure. And then plus they had a lot of injuries with Zion. Ingram was out quite a bit. Like they're a solid team. I see them beating OKC.
I like what's the name Jose Alvarado.
I think he's injured. I gotta double check. Let me see if he's active.
Is he not?
But he missed the last few games.
Well, if he's out, I don't know if they're going because he brings a lot of energy,
Yeah.
lots of energy.
Let me see here.
Yeah, they got a nice team and they have a very
Yeah, it says he's out. And
yeah,
Larry Nance is a game time decision.
yeah.
So
They have a team with a lot of like experience. You know what I mean? Like Jonas, McCollum, Ingram. What's the name? Jose. Because they've been to the playoffs. They've been pretty deep in the play. Well, not
And
deep,
they
deep.
played and they played well, they lost in the first round last year. They won to get into the playoffs with the play-in as well.
Yeah,
But they played Phoenix pretty well last year.
yeah. 7 games, right?
Surprisingly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm excited to watch that. I don't care who wins on that matchup, but definitely excited. What do you think about the Lakers and Memphis series?
yeah. All right. This is gonna be an interesting series. No Steven Adams.
Nope, the whole. I think he's out the entire playoffs.
So
That's a big
that's
loss
a
for
big
them.
loss.
Big loss. They
That's
were
a
doing
huge loss.
amazing with him in the starting lineup. They were playing big.
He
Yeah,
fits. He
it's a
fits
big.
their lineup very well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You think the Lakers can do the upset?
Let's see here. Um, they have the piece. Like when you look at the Lakers, like when you like side by side, like the Lakers have the pieces to do it. It's like they should. Like you're looking at it, like they should. But when Shannon Sharp on Undisputed one time said like if like I think when 80 had like 40 points, like if I get this 80, we're going to the finals. And it's like yeah, if, but I mean you don't know if they're gonna get that
Yeah, you
80.
don't know what you get with them. One day I mean, they've been playing really good basketball since the
The
trade
trade,
deadline. Like this team is definitely better than what they were. Like they have so much more shooting now, which is just it. All it's doing is adding Anthony Davis, giving him more space,
more
giving
space,
LeBron more space.
right?
Like I could see it happening. It's unlikely because of how good Memphis has played. Um, can it go seven? I think it could go seven.
It can go seven. Um, if like we know Dylan Brooks is gonna be guarding LeBron. Like we know that, right? Like
He called them out too.
so.
I'm hoping the Lakers win. I would love to knock them out of the playoffs. So hopefully he's not waking up the king. That's all I'm hoping for. Because imagine if the King's like, okay, I'm gonna drop 50 a game.
The thing is
Like
the
I know
what?
he's old, but he could drop he could
Okay,
drop if he
so
really wants to.
what happened last year? They faced the Suns. It's the same 2-7 matchup.
No, last year they didn't make it. You
Year
mean the
be-
year
year
before?
before it was 2-7 matchup,
Yeah, it was against the Suns. They
right?
were up, I think, 2-1
They
against
were
them
up
or
2-1.
1.
So what happened, right?
Yeah, Anthony Davis got injured.
Right. Oh, so
Yeah.
maybe so now they
Anything could happen at this point. Like you don't know. You don't know what he could look. Anthony Davis could look wrong and get injured. So we honestly like we don't know. I don't care who
but
wins.
I don't like that as an excuse. Okay, you tell me something. Is it because of the pace of the game, like how fast it is, especially like after the reset, when when the ball hits the rim, it resets to 14, not 24, correct?
Yeah.
So, do you think that rule change has made it a little difficult now for like an all-star player to take over, like for one all-star or superstar to take over the game? Because
No,
now you have to speed up everything, right? Because that extra 10 seconds, you could have like wasted it and really, you understand what I mean? Take your
I
time on a
do.
possession. What do you
I
want to say?
do, but that's for not gifted offensive players. So like the Raptors are not good offensively. So when they get the offensive rebound and they don't kick it out to a wide open shooter or get the offense right away, then yeah, they're going to take a tough shot, hope for another offensive rebound. When you got guys like Warriors, Phoenix,
Well, I
that
want to stick
shredding isn't just it's speeding up the game, so there's more possessions.
I want to
So
stick to
there's more
LeBron.
offense that.
I want to
Hmm?
stick to LeBron because like in that series against the Suns when AD went out, I don't know. To me, maybe it's because I see his potential, but like he still should be able to. I think he could have squeezed out one more victory out of that.
I agree. I just
Or maybe it's
the
just that's
whole
not his
point.
game.
No, yeah, it's not his game anymore. Like he can't carry and win a series by himself. He hasn't been able to do that for a while. 2018 was like shocking for everybody because nobody expected him to be able to carry the team all the way to the finals, like with nobody on his team. If Anthony Davis goes down, they will lose. If like Anthony Davis has always been the key for the Lakers. When the Lakers won the championship, okay, yes, it was in the bubble. Who was arguably a better player? Anthony Davis was on fire in the playoffs. He had great games, game winners, great defense. Like he was unstoppable in the bubble. Since then, it's been very different. He's had flashes, but he could go 2 weeks where he's dropping 30, 10, and 6 with 2 blocks, and then he's out for a month. So like, it all depends on. It's always been up to him. Like when they signed LeBron, and LeBron really wanted Anthony Davis. The whole point was right now LeBron's here and Anthony Davis is here, right? The whole reasoning for it was over the years LeBron will be taking step backs, like he's gonna take like multiple step backs because his age, like he just can't do 48 minutes a night if he wants to. And the whole point was Davis was supposed to elevate. And instead of him elevating, he's taken a massive few steps back because of injuries, because of whatever. It sometimes it looks like he doesn't enjoy playing. So like if Anthony Davis shows up, they're gonna win the series, I think.
Yeah,
If he
like
like if they're healthy, Lakers are gonna beat Memphis.
for example, if LeBron and Davis are, I mean, because I think this is my issue with LeBron, or at least what I believe to be the issue why he struggled sometimes in the playoffs when he shouldn't, is because he doesn't relegate himself to a role. You understand what I mean? Like he's always controlling the ball, controlling everything has to run through him. It's just like no, it can't run through you. You can't be the point guard. You gotta be. I don't want to say setting up in the post all the time, but more of your possessions should be in the post. You understand what I mean? If you remember the triangle offense? Well, I mean, at least I've watched some of the triangle offense. Dennis Rodman was outside the 3-point line, would dish it to Mike in the post. I'm just saying, if he was like to play like a role, and like he can play point guard at times, but also play in the post, like just be like a power forward center, or when Davis goes out, play the power forward center. You understand what I mean? That's just what I think, but it depends on how they want to run the team, how they want to, because they like him
Yeah.
that high post a lot, and I just don't like him at the high post too much. It's in my opinion, but
See, let me ask you something. You don't think their best offense is a high pick and roll? LeBron has the ball. AD is the pick, the roller, the popper. Most likely he's a roller. And then you have three shooters. You have Reeves in the corner. You have Russell in the corner. You have Beasley in the corner. You don't think that's their best play, having them running the middle pick and roll? You don't think that
yeah,
that's the best?
I'm
He
not
makes good decisions with the ball. If he's open, he could shoot, he could drive. If AD's open, he's going to be able to give him the ball off of either alley oop or a post up for Anthony Davis deep because he switched or whatnot. If anyone collapses into the paint, he has shooters that LeBron has no problem passing to. I just think that's right now their best offense. And yeah, him running the point, bringing the ball up, that's just going to drain his energy. Where he needs to conserve energy at this point in his career. He can't go all out like he used to in 2011, where he would guard the best player on the other team. He's not that guy anymore. But offensively, for me, I think that's the best offensive way. Him posting up, like if he posts up, where's Anthony Davis? Like I'm because I don't know.
well, he can hit
Where,
it,
where
and Anthony Davis can hit the three, so he can shoot the three
no, he's bad three
or
point
whatever.
shooter.
But like even mid range, like that's good enough too. But my point is just I don't want to see the LeBron playing point all the time, or him having to have the Robins have to be run through him all the time, which I think they are figuring out. Like it looks like they've been. That's what
Because
they've
they
been.
got Russell, Schroeder,
Right,
like even Austin Reeves. It makes good
right.
decisions.
Austin, I like that. That's one thing I like. I like when Austin Reeves been playing the point. I love it. So I think if he can just, I don't say stay in his lane, but like you understand what I mean. If he can just not try to do too much, like you've passed Jordan in points. You like don't.
What'd you say?
You've
You
already
passed
passed Jordan
Jordan?
in points. There's no more need.
Oh,
Don't worry about proving yourself anymore. Just try
look,
to
get
win
more
the.
championships.
Right.
Right now, he needs to take a secondary role. Like
Exactly.
at times, he could take over in the game,
Right.
but he cannot do it for 45, 48 minutes. He needs Anthony Davis with him, chugging along at the same speed because it won't work
Yes.
if otherwise.
And he needs to, if he can. And I've been against this for like I don't like when he hides himself on defense. Like I just it drives me nuts. But
He's old, bro.
on this, yeah, exactly. So
20 years in the league, he has to now.
I think they can hide him on defense with this team.
He could put him on. He could guard Dylan Brooks.
Yes.
That's a perfect matchup.
Yes.
As many threes as you want.
Yeah.
If Memphis is going to win by Dylan Brooks averaging 30 a game, shooting 35%,
Yeah.
by all means, Lakers are
And
going to
if
do that.
and if he guards the low post, I think because he's strong. He'll save so much energy down there, so much. You know what I mean?
Yep,
So
agreed, 100%.
yeah, the Lakers, if like I mean, they have the tools to play it right. It's just like if they're gonna execute it to play it right. Because Grizzlies are still young, and I think their ego is like that's a big like thing that the Lakers can exploit.
Like, why would you ever? I just don't understand poking the bear in any
Especially
situation.
I know, but hey, Dylan Brooks, they feel like they got it. Hey, let's see if they got it. You know what? So
Yeah, man, if they lose, ooh. He's to be traded for sure.
Man, just
Did you
trade
hear
him.
remember what Draymond was saying? Memphis is only gonna take that next step when they get rid of Brooks.
That's what he said.
Savage, but I mean, he's a good defensive player, but he's a bad offensive player that takes a lot of shots. It's not a good equation.
Yeah.
Um, what else you want to talk about?
So
You want any matchups in the West you want to talk about?
yeah, the Kings and Warriors. I got Warriors. I think the Warriors.
We don't. I feel
I
like that's the easiest matchup we
I
could
don't know
talk
if
about.
they've escaped, but like, cause they, well, they got like I think Jalen Rose said on his show, like the real estate, like that
Mm.
number six spot is real estate. I mean, we've been talking about that too. We've been mentioning if they whoever stays in that sixth spot is gonna beat the Kings. We've all like everyone in their mama knows that the Kings
If
ain't
it's the
that.
other way, it's going to be an upset.
What do you mean? If
Like if the Kings somehow do
beat,
something,
yeah, yeah, it would be an upset.
and they're like, what? Like I don't see it. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't.
So if the Warriors, and the thing is though, I would love to see I would love to see the Warriors and Lakers in the second round. You know, I would just love to see another Steph and LeBron matchup. That's been a classic. But but it's kind of funny. I think either,
Court if that was the case.
huh?
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Warriors would have home court.
I know,
So
right?
you're predicting the 2 and the 3 seed to be knocked out.
That would be
That's
crazy.
what you're saying.
No, it'd be possible. I mean, the Grizzlies. I mean, because like with Lakers, man, like as I've like we've talked about it, and I've seen the lineups like now, like the and Steven Adams is out. Like Lakers have the better team. They have the better team. You know what I'm saying? And if they played as like a team, like especially matchups and oh gosh, man, they could win in 6 games. They can win in 6 games.
I agree. I agree. I
But
can't. There's not much to say. Like I
but
think
again, that's if they
what
execute.
you know what I would say out of that. I'm probably like not happy, but how happy is Denver right now? Because they, out of all the teams they have to figure out, they have to either beat Oklahoma City, New Orleans Pelicans without Zion, and Minnesota.
Well, I don't know. I
That's a
don't know.
good, solid first round matchup for Denver to get out of that first round, I think.
Well, I think
Because
Denver.
if it was the Lakers, sorry, if it was the
Go on.
Lakers, you'd be like, ooh, I could kind of see them losing. But those other three players, the
Well,
other three teams, there's no way they're losing.
well, Denver. I guess what you can say is that they can hopefully sweep the first round to get as much rest because they're gonna need it in the next round. Because Clippers or Suns, it don't matter who it is. Because the
Well,
Clippers
that's
probably
gonna
want
be
revenge from what
oh yeah,
happened. And if
and
they face this,
Clippers. Deep.
hmm? Well, that's it again.
Clippers are so deep.
Yeah. So if Clippers might want to get revenge what happened to them like a couple years ago, and the Suns, who's gonna stop KD? that's the only. That's the only thing.
Eric Gordon.
That's the only thing.
That's
Yeah, I
who they're
mean,
probably gonna have to guard for sure. He's
so
the only guy who has the height and the speed to do something.
yeah, that's the. We might have we might have like a number 4-6 or 4-7 in the Western Conference Finals. That's gonna be the West is so weird, this year.
Is there's so much like parity.
Yeah,
Even Denver with the number one seed, nobody's really scared of them.
yeah,
They have to prove themselves. So
yeah.
I'm honestly excited. I'm really excited about the. I feel like the East not so much. Maybe the I think it's
Four
the
five, the 4-5 seed.
yeah like that's the only one that's really like in doubt. Philly's gonna destroy Brooklyn.
Yeah, Boston's
Bucks
gonna.
are gonna destroy the Raptors or destroy Chicago or destroy Atlanta.
You mean
Boston,
Heat?
the Heat. Atlanta's definitely gonna lose to Boston.
Yeah,
Like there's almost guarantees that we're gonna get 1, 2, 3, and then at 4, 5 is the only thing up in the air, which is gonna be an exciting series.
yeah.
I hope Cleveland wins because it's always good to rip on the Knicks. But yeah, no, it's gonna be exciting time, man. I'm excited. Even if the Raptors don't make it, I'm definitely watching playoffs this year.
Well, speaking of the Raptors, like I guess one of the things that we heard lately, um, was Fred. Like
Steady Freddy.
yeah, what did he say? Like he doesn't.
He was saying in a I think he was doing either an interview or a podcast, and he was like, "I'm one of the top 50 players in the league right now."
Yeah,
And then he's like, the list is actually shorter." And he was like, he was pretty much trying to say like no fan or someone who doesn't play ball can't really talk to him about basketball.
hmm
And we were just having a quick chat over the phone trying to map out our week, and we were on the phone for like 15 minutes just talking about that. So I was like, oh, we got to pause and talk about
yeah.
this on the podcast because
Well, first I agree with
yeah, you go first.
I agree with him. Isn't like I don't think we can like if it was like a one-on-one, like personally, like I ain't gonna talk to Freddie. Be like, yo, Freddie, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like it's true. Like he's played. He's played like what three? I don't know how many years. Five, six. How many years?
I think he's at six or
6 years.
seven,
So I played zero. You played zero. From
five.
that perspective, yes. But like this, yeah, we can talk about you. But it's just like, so I have no problem with him saying that. The only issue I had him saying is just like he's saying like he's a top 50 player as though like as though like he's done like he's led the team to like these record winnings. You know what I mean? Like he made it seem like it's like a what's that like a not a trademark. You know what I mean? Like he's
Like
done some
he's
type
a
of
top tier guy.
yeah. Well, not top tier, but like he's hit some type of stone, like a
Oh,
trademark
milestone, or
milestone. There you go.
he's
Yeah,
already achieved something, which I mean he has.
yeah, he has.
But
But a top 50
yeah,
player is like okay, like come on, like I think for me it's just like I would expect more, especially for somebody that's won a championship. I would expect more humility and try to like for him to get more to a higher level because I think we all see that he can get to a higher level. But it's just that it's like yeah, it's like I've already made it. I've already
let me
made
ask
it.
you, Freddie, do you think he can get to a higher level?
I think he could.
What's a higher level for him?
Like I don't know. I just think he could. Let me see. His stats was like what 19 points,
19.7
seven
assists,
assists.
low field goal percentage, low 3-point percentage. I can look it up right now. I'll shout it out to you.
Like I
Their
well,
stats. Okay,
well now I think, but maybe not. Who knows? Maybe not.
Steady Freddy. Okay, so he's shooting 39% field goal percentage,
Yeah.
34% 3-point percentage.
Yeah, like no, I know he can do better than that. I know he can get to
100% I agree
50,
with you.
44
Yeah.
easily.
Say that first one again.
50% field goal and 42, 3.
I
I
don't
know
think
he
he's
can
ever,
get up there. He
I don't
has
think he's
that.
ever done that. Let me see here. I'm going to his career stats. His highest field goal percentage, oh my goodness, was his second year in the league when he was playing 20 minutes a night and he shot 42.6%. His all-star year last year, 40.3%. So he does not have the capabilities to shoot a high percentage. He would have done it by now, even in his all-star season. Honestly, not even looking at the stats, I'm like, oh no, he's an all-star. He's shooting better than he's not. He's not. Now,
Right, right.
3-point percentage, his best year was like he's shot a good percentage most of his career except for this year. Last year he's 37.7. The year before 36.6, 39, 37.8, 41.4. Right? Like he has the capability of shooting a better 3-point percentage. But him in the paint, he's terrible in the paint. He gets blocked a lot. He takes tough shots. Here, so like do you have more to add
No,
about
no,
like
keep going, keep
set?
going, keep going.
Okay, so here's my thing. I'm a big Raptors fan. From yet last year to this year, Fred has had the biggest. Like I was shocked about him this year, hearing that he's having issues with Scotty Barnes. Him taking credit for Scotty having a great year last year. Um, him, like
Well,
I've noticed.
he probably saw himself as a focal point after Kyle Lowry left. Like he probably saw himself as like, I'm taking over Kyle Lowry's spot.
Which I agree. He has taken over Kyle Lowry's spot. But Kyle Lowry was never, I don't know, like Lowry's weird because he was so selfish at the start of his career, like immature. And then when he came here, he had a couple of years where he wasn't doing great, and then it clicked with him. Fred is the opposite. Fred came in not with pedigree, but he came in with maturity. He came in with his second year in the league. They called him Steady Freddy, a second year player. He's the steady guy on the court. He's the calm guy on the court. He just kind of keeps everybody on the same page. This year, every player on our team has not been on the same page. You see guys on the bench miserable. You see guys playing miserable. You see our best player, Pascal, bitching and complaining about not getting the ball every single time down the court. You see Scotty missing stuff and why are you not going to him? Don't worry. Go ahead.
I think that's why I believe that he has a because when he came in, like you said, and remember when the Raptors what he did was he made them he strengthened their offense and defense. You know what I mean?
Well, he had the bench. The bench mob was fantastic.
Right.
The bench was the starters this year. So Pascal, Pirtle, Fred, Powell, CJ Mott, those guys exceeded the expectations coming off the bench. So when he started playing better and we forget that the year we got swept against Cleveland, we forget he had in game one multiple fourth quarter wide open shots, our best 3-point shooter, and he didn't score. We forget about that. The following year, the championship year, he was unplayable against the 76ers. He could not play in that series. He could not. Go look at his stats. It's garbage stats. The East Finals, man, game one, I remember, we were playing really good. We put the bench in. It went to crap. Fred was leading the bench that year. Now, he turned it around. Game 5, he played incredible. I think he hit 5 threes in that game. We needed him to score. Same thing in the finals. I give him massive credit. He played great. He played great Deion Curry. He played great offense. He was a tough guy on the court.
Oh. Well, go on. No, you're on a roll. You're on a roll. Keep going.
Yeah, so I could see all the positives that this guy comes up with. But last year against Philly, he played bad in the playoffs. Maxey outplayed him. Maxey was running circles around this guy. He's supposed to be our best guard. Between him and, OG was a guard technically, so. But as a point guard, he's supposed to be a good defender. He wasn't. This year, he struggled defensively. Yes, he's third in steals. He should be top 5 in steals because he's that type of guy, kind of reading the defense. But he gets, every time Maxey plays him, he gets outplayed. Every time there's a fast point guard or a skilled point guard, he gets outplayed. If he's guarding Chris Paul, sure. What's going to happen when he guards John Morant? Torch. What's going to happen when he guards Maxey? Torch. Any guys that have a lot more skill, torch him. Because he's not fast enough. He's a short point guard that's not athletic. So, you were saying how much better he could be. I don't expect more from, the offensive side other than getting his percentages up. But the leadership side has to be there. It can't be non-existent. And the second half of the season, where the Raptors have played better basketball, we've seen that. In the start of the year, we didn't. We saw a lot of complaining, a lot of negativity. It was tough watching games. Last week, the back-to-back in Boston, the Raptors needed to win those games. Boston was resting their guys. They got blown out both games. That's unacceptable. Our whole team was playing. How do you lose? How do you get blown out?
Well,
how do you get blown out?
Well, he's a championship. He has a ring now, so maybe that could
be. He's a backup point guard championship caliber player.
And maybe that's what it is for me because I know the value he brings in that setting as that backup point guard because he does fortify a team. You know what I'm saying?
He'll be the best backup point guard in the league.
And I think that's what it is. If he's delegated to a role, he can be. He can be that. His numbers will go up. But I guess when you give him more responsibility, that's just not who he is.
I agree. I think he needs to take less shots.
Yeah.
I think he needs to really think about when he drives, taking those tough shots.
Right.
I think he sometimes gets a lot of tunnel vision. A lot of the Raptors players get tunnel vision.
Yeah,
One of the
because
guys who don't is Scotty Barnes, but like sometimes he's in the paint and he'll miss a couple bunnies in a row and this and like he's still finding himself there. But I don't know. I don't know. Like, is he worth 30 mil a year for the next 4 years? Because that's what they're
what
going to need to pay him to get him back.
you got Fred Pascal, OG part of, and is Chris part of the he's part of the original four or like not original but like
Like the bench mob.
because he was on the championship team, right? Chris Boucher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Chris, OG, who didn't really play.
and Fred
Fred,
and
yeah,
Pascal. So those
yeah.
four are kind of part of the championship team. I don't. Chris doesn't give up like a prideful vibe to me. To me, he doesn't seem prideful, but
You mean like prideful in a negative way, like too
yeah,
cocky? Or
yeah,
no, he was a bench guy. He didn't play at all.
right,
He got 0 minutes unless they were getting blown out, essentially.
right.
Pascal was the guy. Like, I don't know. We could talk about Raptors all day with me. I want to see what they do against the Bulls.
Well,
Essentially, it's a crazy story. They got to beat DeMar, and then they got to go to Miami and beat Lowry. So if they make the
nice.
playoffs,
That's
that's a pretty
cool.
good storyline.
I like that. Can the Raptors? And this is a good test for Fred. This is a good test for Fred. Can you take out DeMar? Well, I mean, it's not only DeMar and Lowry. We know that, but at least with Lowry though, you can go head to head with his previous teammate. Try to go it
And
up.
Fred can do it. Like that's the thing. I expect more from Fred because he's been in positions to do that.
Right,
Like if Fred doesn't play well, we're gonna lose. Sorry, not we. The Raptors are gonna lose. If he doesn't play well, they don't win a lot of games.
right.
So it's like
Well, if he doesn't make the right decisions,
correct.
right,
Like he had one game. I think he had a game against Sacramento. And he was, I think he dropped almost 40, 38, 39 points, something like that in the regular season. They lost because Fox went off. They hit so many threes. This guy just would not pass the ball. He was taking so many shots. The first half, they were hitting. The second half, he was missing a bunch of layups because they were tough shots. It was like, I'm watching that game. I'm like, why aren't you passing the ball? Pass. You did it in the first half, so the people are paying more attention to you. That's what you facilitate. The Raptors need to do a whole bunch of stuff this offseason, no matter what. Because even if they make it, they're going to get destroyed by the Bucks. So, like,
Bucks,
Philly.
Celtics, Philly. I mean, or is it Bucks, Celtics, Philly? No, Bucks. Um,
Yeah, Bucks,
eh,
Celtics, Philly.
well, if they were to beat Bucks, I mean, they'll have to face the Cavaliers or Knicks, and then Celtics or Philly.
If they beat the Bucks, that'll
That'd
I'll
be
give you $1,000, buddy. There's no way anybody Miami's not doing it. Raptors aren't doing it. No way. I'll bet $1,000 the Raptors won't do it, and I'm a Raptor fan. And if they do it, I'll be cheering and giving you $1,000.
gotcha.
So no way.
Yeah, man.
Bucks are too deep for that.
Well, there's the
Now,
playoff picture.
crazy take that you just did, eh?
Huh?
I had to follow it up with $1,000 bet, but that's
No,
crazy. You think so?
I didn't say that. I just said if they were to beat them, then they got.
No.
Uh, well,
They should have beat Philly last year. But Fred played bad game 1 and game 2, and Barnes got injured. Nah, Raptors need a bunch of things to go their way for them to
well,
win a game or two.
they might need a new team. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see
Well,
what happens.
do you want to quickly talk about Nurse's comments?
Whatever they are, go on. I don't know what they are.
You, he essentially was being asked constantly about what's going to happen this offseason. He has 1 more year on his deal, blah, 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 blah. And essentially he came out, he's like, I need to assess essentially I need to assess in the offseason if this is what I want to continue doing, which means being the Raptors head coach.
Oh, he's miserable.
This year's been crap, man. I agree. He hasn't been well. He hasn't coached the team properly. The reason why the Raptors can't go to anybody on the bench is because he didn't go to anybody on the bench the entire season.
But you see why, like, and not to take credit away from him. I think he's a great coach because he's had remember that year? I think it was when Kawhi left. Yeah, the year when
The
Raptors were.
following year, they were fantastic. 5 players, I believe, averaged 15 plus points a game or
Yeah,
more. They were great.
yeah,
Nurse is a good coach. Nurse
yeah,
is a good coach.
yeah, and
The
like
team is flawed.
yeah, remember like they were down. It was Kristaps and Luca with the Mavericks, and
Yeah, I watched that game.
they were slapping the crap out of them,
They were down, I think, 30 points or
and then they
29.
started the full court press. Yo,
Yep.
that
The
like
bench players in Lowry. Guess who was on the bench there? Fred was on the
Fred,
bench.
right? That's like I know he's a valuable player, and that's why I know he could do better. So like when I see 39%, I'm like, bro, I swear this guy could do more. But again, I think it's
And
just
Mike, and
the
Mike, he's shot really well since the All Star break. So those numbers should have improved. Imagine how worse they were a month and a half ago.
right. Yeah,
Really
I
bad.
think if he plays his role, he'll be fine. If he tries to do too much, or like again, if he thinks he's like the like he's made it already, like I'm a top 50. Like, I think that's what kind of like threw me
That was
off.
the thing. That was another thing. You don't think he's a top 50 player in the league?
Not that he's not top, but just like, but he's
Like it's
saying it.
close. It's not like top 10, top
Yeah,
20, but in the 40s, he's there. I
yeah, he's a solid
mean,
player.
me
But like,
fucking
but
sadly.
you're telling me the players that like the next 10 players under cannot pass him very easily. Like he's not like so. How do I say that?
No, it's not a. He's not a lock. He has to earn it and all
Right.
that.
That, that
Pascal's the
that's
guy.
there you go. That's all I'm saying. He has to earn it. That's all
Yeah,
I'm saying.
for sure, 100%. I agree with you there.
That's what
So
I
like
mean. But
Pascal is the guy where he's a top player.
right,
Like he's top 30, top 20 player
right.
where he doesn't need to prove it. He is that.
No, but he's solid. Like he's solid. Like yeah, he's gonna get
Yeah, yeah. Like he's taking steps forward and this and that, but
right.
like yeah, I just expected more from this team this year.
Yeah.
Disappointing. And with Nurse, just to kind of put a bow on it, if he comes back, they have to switch the team up. Either the coach leave, like they, no matter what, if the coach stays or not, the team has to change because this team is not a winning team. Even if they had a good year and they were the fourth or fifth seed playing Philly or playing Cleveland, they're probably going to be a first round exit.
Hmm.
So it's like you have to build on something. You doubled down and traded for Pirtle, and now you don't have a draft pick the following year. So the following year, they got to try to make the playoffs. So you got to make a decision. Like
Yeah.
you got to add a bench. You have
Exactly.
to add a bench
Exactly.
or play the guys. Play the guys.
Yeah. Like, but
Play them at the start of the
With Nick Nurse, I think he had a lot of momentum coming up the Kawhi Leonard era. You know
Hmm.
what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, he's had a good grace period for sure.
So
But he overachieved last year with them. That's why it's like, why not this year?
right, right. Yeah,
He
I feel
kills
you
his
on that.
players though. Jeez. 36, 38 minutes, 39 minutes. It's too much. It's just too much. You have to rely on some bench guys. If you can't do that in the regular season, the playoffs they're gonna be burnt out. We saw with Dwayne Casey and Lowry and DeMar playing so many minutes. By the time they made it to the playoffs, they were dead. It doesn't work. When we won the championship, all of everybody's minutes were down. Like average wise. Nobody was like killing it with minutes. You
Hmm.
just can't win that way. You can't.
Right. All right, man. Hey, that's enough about basketball. We
Yeah.
we went
Got me
into it.
pumped out. Most
But
I
yeah,
want
man.
them to do good, man. I want
Yeah.
them to do well.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, man. Just I guess in this social media world that we're living in, right? And like we're doing this channel, the Sports Business Life podcast. I got a little basketball channel myself that I'm trying to. But like one thing that I'm noticing as okay, so you've played ball, I've played ball. Um, we don't have nobody to teach us, right?
Self-taught.
We just have to go and just go do it, right? Just you gotta start something, and some people start businesses that way too. They just say, hey, I'm gonna try to go
Yep.
and
From
do it.
scratch.
Yeah, go do it and see what I gotta do. Like what you're doing is it door to door? I get well, you're knocking on doors. I mean, that's what Nike
Right.
did.
Yeah.
That's what a few people did, right? They
Yeah.
started from the beginning. Um, but like I guess like the connection of like life is like a game, right? Like people make these connections with life and so when I think about like when the first time I started playing basketball, the first time I just went to go play. I wasn't good. Okay, trial and error. I wanted to go work on something. Went back to it. Try to get better at that. and through the
It was organic.
right through the trial and error. What do you want to say? Test and prove, test and prove. I feel like I'm noticing the same thing with social media. So if you're doing YouTube, I'm noticing things that like, oh, like um, the things that I'm kind of getting better at, or things that like bad habits that I'm putting away. Like in ball, we put away some bad habits. Okay, I don't have to dribble the ball 5, 6, 7, 8 times, right? I can just dribble one, two. If I don't have a pass, kick it out, and then you have flow to the team. So I'm noticing there's something
You're not killing the momentum, and
right. I'm noticing some things I'm kind of putting away from social media, or like some things that like I can get better at. You understand what I mean? So
yeah.
one thing that like so if you apply that same thought to it, like how did like another way I got better at ball was going to ask someone that's been better than me and teaching me something. Hey, I see you do this move like this. How do you do this? What does that do? That cuts your learning curve, right?
hmm
So I'm
People are
thinking,
scared to do that.
huh?
People are scared to ask questions with other people. They feel like embarrassed or no, I wouldn't do that or whatnot. It's
Yeah,
okay to learn from other people for sure.
yeah, man. So like, what is YouTube? YouTube is TV. So I think,
Sometimes you look up stuff. Hey, I don't know how to fix the window.
right,
YouTube. YouTube it. YouTube it.
yeah. But even like how do I say this? Like the principles that like why do we like basketball games? Why do we like certain things? Why do we like certain television programs? They have like a certain principle that they follow or format. So it's like we could use that knowledge to make our media better. You
For
understand what
sure.
I mean? So I feel like that was just to me that was profound. I'm not sure if it really opens up your eyes, maybe opens up something that
Well,
for you to
like
think about.
elaborate more on that for people, like, because we're on the same wavelength. So, like, explain a little bit more about it, like
Uh,
specifically what you're pinpointing out
well,
and then
like for
applying
me,
to you.
if I want to do basketball content or if I want to do like live games, I can maybe kind of follow the format of the NBA, like have like starting lineups, right? And then have like show the crowd, like show, like kind of take their examples of like shots and panning and add it to my content, make my content better. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
just
So
like the entertainment value. The
entertainment
entertainment.
value, yeah.
Yeah,
So
no, for sure. That's good. You know, the one thing that I think is a lot of people's hurdle, like most of the people in my industry that I talk to about, like, have you done the Facebook thing and or the Instagram, YouTube videos and that, and a lot of times they fear being on camera, like they fear being vulnerable or, you know, making a mistake or whatever the case is. But like a lot of people are like, no, I don't do on the phone, or I don't do on the video. I don't like being videos. And like I've kind of always, not I'd rather not be on a video. I can make and create content, but it's better to not be on the video. That's not the case, man. Like you do videos, they see more your, like the person behind the business, right? Like you're not what's your company's name? Go.
my company name, like,
Yeah, your basketball business
well, my
name.
basketball, well, I have two, but the one I'm using is just Michael, just my name, Michael.
Okay, so that's perfect. What's your other business name?
Dominions Athletics.
Okay, so you're not, like, people aren't investing in Dominion Athletics, right? They're not trusting Dominion Athletics, the brand, to take care of their kids or to watch after them they want you, Michael Fleming. They trust you to improve their kids, to help their kids in whatever aspect,
Hmm.
basketball, training, whatever. It's the person behind the company name, the page, the Facebook page, the Instagram page, and it's okay if some people you don't vibe with, but you need to get to know. They need to get to know you more as a person because they need to trust you that you're going to do right by their family, right? And there's only so far you could go by posting without having the personal side of it.
Hmm.
So like a lot of content creators, they say, okay, 20%. 80% content about your company or your business, 20% about personal. Do you know how many people are like, no, 80% about your hobbies and your interests and your likes, 20% content, right? It's like they say, go on Facebook posts, Instagram posts, comment about them going to your page, comment about them, free consultation about mortgage advice, or free day session with your kid to see if they like it. Whatever the case is, a lot of people will be like, oh, they're just promoting and move on. But if they get to know you and you comment and make it a personal comment, like you post something on, or your business page posts on someone's 50th anniversary or 20th anniversary, and you kind of show the personal side of you, the good person that you are, the trustworthy person that you are, a lot of times that's more important.
Yeah.
Right? Like when we're trying to build our team, like I've said so many times, I want people I trust that I could go, like into the trenches with and know that, they have my back.
Yeah.
Right? And if they don't think that you're that guy, that's okay. There's many other people that will mesh with you, but it's more the personal bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like when you're developing with the parents, you're not going to be like, hello, sir, hello, miss, your little Freddy's doing really good. No, you're going to have that personal connection with them. Hey, Mrs. Whatever. Hey, John and Ashley, Freddy's doing amazing. We worked on this, and this. Like, how's your weekend? It's that side that's just as important as all the other stuff, Like, I think a lot of people miss that, where it's just business, 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 or the fear of even doing it is stopping people from doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, what if it fails? Well, you haven't tried yet. Fail, try something else. Try a different avenue, right? Not everybody's going to just be content only. Like, it has to have all that other stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like Michael Jordan said, like you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So
I have one quote that I'll share that I ended up finishing my vision board. Okay? Let me see. You know what? I could probably read it. Let's see. You will fail 100% if you do nothing. So do something. So even if, the fear of being on Facebook videos or YouTube videos, I'm scared of that. It freaks me out. But if I don't do it, I won't succeed from it anyway. So my whole gist is I need to do these videos to succeed as a mortgage agent, to succeed as a basketball trainer.
yeah.
But if you don't do any of that stuff, you just talk about being scared or not wanting to do it, or I don't know if I could do it, work on it. Like our podcast, man, like from first to now, look how much we've improved.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
We're always tinkering. We're always trying to improve, even just for us.
Yeah.
Hey, our, background logos now.
Yeah.
Oh, we weren't even recording our first one.
Yeah.
Videos, right? So it's like little things that we just work on the fly until you get your niche, and then you find something and you work with it until it doesn't work anymore. And that goes with so many things.
Yeah, man. So
you find a mismatch with basketball. You keep doing that until they stop you.
Yeah.
They can't stop you. You're just eating all day.
That's exactly the analogy I like too. And like I'm noticing that like so even what we're doing right here, yes, it's sports business life podcast, but this is also social media, and we don't even, like I didn't even realize, like for me, I didn't even realize it before. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm in like multiple businesses here. I didn't even read like business of YouTube, Instagram, right, TikTok, Twitter, Pinterest, I think it's Facebook, right? You know what I mean? And then obviously there's basketball, but there's also a YouTube basketball enthusiast, an Instagram basketball enthusiast. Like it's those things.
And you also notice it's everything that we like. Like if this podcast was about, museums, I'm not going to want to do this stuff.
Exactly.
Why would I want to be on something I don't enjoy?
Exactly. Yeah.
If we're talking about a sport that we don't watch, we don't even enjoy watching, why would we want to do it?
Yeah.
So like, do what's something that you're passionate about. And if you find something that you're passionate about, put 1,000,000% effort into it, because if then for whatever reason it doesn't work out, you could pivot to something else.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like from real estate investment to mortgage agent. I 5 years ago, I would never think mortgage agent would be an option for me. But I got into real estate, fell in love with real estate, got into this. Same thing with basketball. You were a player first. You were training yourself first. You wanted to play and enjoy as much as you could. And then you found, wow, this can open up training kids, being a coach, making a training company, a business where you're helping kids in whatever city, town that you could go to. It just opens up more and more and more. So it might not be this successful business venture that we're doing, but it's pushing us to do all this other stuff.
Yes, yeah.
The podcast right now is just for us. If it helps one person, I'm good. If it
Yeah.
helps two people, it's great. But this is more us
Yeah.
talking, enjoying the time. Because man, we're both busy. It's kind of hard to get time to just kind of hang out, chat like this. It's always good.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, yeah, man. So I think that's one thing I'm kind of noticing on my business journey right now, and I want to keep like I want to have the same mindset I had when I was playing ball. Like when you step on the court, when we turn on the camera, like we're the best podcast out there. Like that's the mindset I want to have. Like I'm the best player on the court. You know what I mean?
I wanted to actually quickly ask you. So like your mindset, like okay, before I was really good at basketball. I didn't really shoot well, and then I failed at something regarding basketball, and I worked my butt off with basketball. Where now I could say, yeah, when I was playing a lot, I was the best shooter in the gym. I had the confidence, the cockiness, sure, but when you're going into like we need to have that mindset
Yeah.
when we're going into that. I'm gonna be the best mortgage agent because I'm gonna push myself to do that. If there's something I don't know or something that's you're better at me at, how? What did you do? How can I get better at it?
Yes. Yeah, man.
You know, because and same thing with coach. How could I be a better coach? How could I be a better
Yeah.
uh, uh, social media guy?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
You have to push as hard as we did, trying to learn how to take a jump shot, how to make sure my right hand, your left hand is strong.
Yeah.
So, we're not we don't have negatives on the offensive end. The same concept
Yeah.
boils down to you gotta put in your head, I'm doing this.
Yes.
I'm getting it done. I'll do what it takes to get it done. You know?
Yeah, man. Exactly. Other than that, you had did you have something else to talk about? Was there something
Oh
else?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a quick yeah. I was me and my business partner, we were meeting a real estate agent, and we were kind of going back and forth on trying to set a schedule. And it changed multiple times. So like it wasn't really anyone's fault. It was we set a time during text, hopped on the phone to reschedule the time, scheduled it for yesterday, and sitting ready to waiting for him to walk in. Hey, I totally forgot. I thought we were doing it for Friday instead of today, and this and that. Where a lot of other agents, in my position would be like, oh, screw this. He doesn't give a crap. I'm done. I'm going home. I'm going to go work on whatever I need to work on. The relationship that you're trying to build with a person, especially when you're trying to find clients, you're trying to help clients, you're trying to build, like we were saying, relationships with people. Just us, working an extra hour, waiting for him to finish what he was doing to come and meet us. It was a great meeting. We had a great lunch. We're exchanging ideas and thought processes and all of the above when it comes to real estate. Where how could we help them? How what he's doing to build himself up. It's just we could have taken the easy way out and just said, oh, forget it. But we went the extra mile. It wasn't really an extra mile. We went the extra step to still make it work. And we turned like a somewhat upsetting, not really upsetting, but like other people would think of it as an upsetting annoyance, turned into look how much more we bonded because we waited an extra 45 minutes instead of doing work after the meeting. We did work before the meeting. Like we built that relationship up that it will continue growing over time. That's what you're doing in basketball. Like you got to put in the time to build, and if you don't put in the time, it's not going to work.
Mm.
So if you're
Yeah.
trying
Right.
to
Right.
put the
Right.
time in to build the relationship with people, it's only going to benefit you. If
Yeah,
you tell a parent, hey, screw off, they're never going to come back. What's the point?
I don't think it's that simple, but I know what you mean.
You know, yeah, essentially, like they're not going to use you again. They're not
Yeah,
going to, put trust in you.
right, right.
Where little gesture of like going the extra step, because again, it wasn't a mile, like waiting a tiny bit of time to meet a guy that you really got along with over the phone and the last time you met in person. Where hey, I need trustworthy real estate agents, trustworthy people on my team, and him being part of that is important. And that also shows that I care about the relationship. I am a trustworthy person of his team. When shit hits the fan for him and he needs someone for financing, he's going to call us. He's going to call me.
Yeah,
It's just something to share where, sometimes, going that extra step or that extra mile sometimes pays off,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly.
And I
And
just
you
want to
put in
share
that
that.
work, and that's what we're doing, man. So you gotta keep going, and yeah, I think that's about it for us here. Um, if y'all enjoyed the podcast, don't be afraid to like, subscribe, and share. Um, I hope it blesses anyone out there, and motivates you just to even if to start or just go for your passion, go for something that you enjoy doing. And I mean, you only got one life to live, so why not do it to the best of your ability and do it something that you love to do, right? So
Think of it like this: if you don't do stuff now, 10 years from now, you're gonna be, oh man, I wish I did this 10 years ago. So
yeah,
just do it now.
yeah,
Just do it now. It'll compound over time. Do the same thing, improve every single day. Imagine where you're gonna be in 5 years if you improve
just a
this
little
little
bit,
bit
yeah, just a
every
little
single
bit.
day. That's how
All
we
right,
think. That's how we're trying to think every single day. Always looking to improve.
yes, sir,
Go somewhere in the right direction.
yes, sir. All right, then. Well, this is Mike and Diego signing off on Sports Business Life Podcast.
Let's go
Peace.
Raptors.
Let's go, Raptors.